weather this time of year in the South? Perfect. Fall football weather. And we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons.
Justin Rohrwasser set to kick off.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. Fielded in the end zone. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. First carry for Raheem Mostert. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Brings up 3rd down.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Mayfield flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Mayfield sacked.
And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Let's take it inside his own 40. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. Now the first carry for Devin Singletary. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. Really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
9-14, 9-14. Let's put him on the 15. Let's put that team on the clock. 14's the mic. 14's the mic.
On 2nd and 9, Wentz, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Wentz. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
3rd down and 6 yards to go.
Incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, Mayfield eluding the pressure right. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A 1st down and then some. Give him 29 yards.
Really? Really? Did we just see that? That's a big catch. One-handed, I might add, to pick up a 1st down.
I was going to say on 3rd down for the defense, it's one thing to give up a reception. You just got to shake your head on a one-handed catch to pick up the 1st. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10, all the way down at the 21-yard line. And they'll get him down right about the 20.
Raheem Mostert.
Tackle made there by Kamale Correa.
He's brought down at the 20-yard line. A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd.
On 2nd down, Mostert. And he'll get this down only to the 18.
Mostert.
Only a yard of the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Looking for Ayuk, and he's got him. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Butker's kick here is good, and the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
And his throw here's incomplete. He was in search of his tight end, Tyler Higbee. And it's 3rd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw is probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Now Wentz on 3rd down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Well, the screen gets 7, but it's not enough. And it'll be 4th down. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call it time. Timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. The Falcons send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This returnable for Ayuk. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And the Lions will take over
at their own 35-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here.
The ball carrier.
Tracy Walker in on the tackle.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
From the 39, Mayfield. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Frank Clark fighting his way home to get the sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
3rd and long for Mayfield. And he's got his man Hilton. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15. Nothing after 1 on EA Sports.
Lions 3, Falcons nothing.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 39, and the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
On play action, it's Wentz. He's got his target. It's the tight end, Tyler Higbee. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
At the 27-yard line.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 27. Singletary here running out of the gun. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
The tackle made at the
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
2nd and 7.
On the handoff, it's Singletary. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Ball carrier brought down at the 23-yard line. A 1-yard gain brings up 3rd and 6.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. And that will be incomplete.
As soon as I saw him break contain and get outside, my first thought and my eyes gravitated downfield, because nowadays, most of these quarterbacks, when they do that, they want the big play downfield. They don't want to throw it short. In this case, he took the shot. It fell incomplete.
Rohrwasser's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
First down, Lions.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Mayfield. Looking for his tight end, fouls, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily. I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
They'll run on first down with Singletary. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
26, Devin.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. It's a foot race. The 30.
You're gonna make
10,
everything happen.
5, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. That's a tough spot as a quarterback, Charles. You want to get rid of it, but you see what can happen when you do try to get rid of it with pressure.
Yeah, and how about the pressure coming without them having to blitz? That's when you know things are clicking for your defense, and the end result, they end up gaining 6 points.
And it is up.
Kick is good.
And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now.
Falcons 3.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
A terrible spot for a holding call as he'll try again, but now from further back on first and goal. They'll run with Mostert, and he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Raheem Mostert, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collected victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Wentz now on 1st down. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. He's got the connection to Cooper. That catch good for only a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 38-yard line.
Now Wentz. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Eddie Goldman with a sack.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The Falcons on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now Wentz. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. From the 31, Mayfield. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And Mayfield again with the interception, his 3rd. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception. So after the INT, here's Wentz.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Amari Cooper, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. And it's up through the goalposts. It's 17-10.
The score, Lions 17. Falcons.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25.
25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
And it's fielded at the 34. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Looking back to that first quarter, they struggled, but now here in quarter 2, they seem to have some rhythm.
And it really shouldn't be a surprise to us because when we were in the production meetings, we asked a few of the players about, hey, what if things get a little rocky early? They all said the exact same thing. We're prepared, so we're confident things will work out, and so far, they have started to do so.
Those 3 words we hear a lot, stay the course. To throw on 2nd and 6, Wentz. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
37-yard line.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Mayfield looks to throw. He'll buy some time right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
Mayfield's pass intercepted. The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
It'll be Falcons football, and they trail here as we get back underway on EA Sports. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The third quarter starts with a run by Singletary. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
No gain.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
On first down, Wentz. And Diggs has it. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone.
It's caught at the 10. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 43 yards. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime means had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Again, it'll be Singletary. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. Flush to his right. That is caught inside the 5. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Carson Wentz with touchdown number 15 on the year and 2nd of the game. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. Rohrwasser on for the PAT. And he gets it to go, and we're all even, 17 apiece.
That ties the game at 17. Justin Norwalk.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27.
First and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. That's complete to his receiver, Ayuk. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
A 3-yard gain.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Here's Mayfield. And my goodness, another interception. Bernardrick McKinney, the linebacker, picks it. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all of these picks have been his fault. You know, some of the throws, yes, but there have been a good number of them where he hasn't been helped by his own receivers, and they've turned into interceptions. So he knows if he keeps firing, perhaps good things can happen, not just in this game, but especially in later ones.
Jordan made the tackle.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Wentz. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. That's going to be caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That goes for a gain of 31.
First down and goal to go.
They'll look to run with Singletary. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
That's an excellent stop right there here in this tie game. They're doing their best to hold the fort and at least force a field goal attempt.
Here's 2nd and a yard. They go right back to Singletary. And for a second straight play, the Lion defense drops him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
A loss of 2 on the play. It's 3rd down and goal to go.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. They'll try and run. Here's Singletary. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. Rohrwasser's kick is good. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
At their own 34-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they really need to forget about their last time out, the turnover that led to a field goal. So now they try to regroup, trailing in the final quarter. Obviously, they'd love a touchdown, but 3 would suffice. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
This a 2nd and 7 from the 37. Mayfield to throw it this time. That's caught by his running back, Raheem Mostert. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Complete.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
The Lions on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. It's a first down following a gain of 3.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. On 1st down, they go with Mostert again. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
They hand it off to Mostert. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it 1 more time, so make sure you get in shape.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times and 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 6. Mayfield now from the 50. And that is incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. desperation time. Mayfield on 4th down. And now here is another interception. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. Count them now, 6 interceptions between last week and this week. Now, the 3 picks last week helped them to a win. They're in the driver's seat once more.
And they're the ones that are doing all the leading, aren't they? Right? The 3 interceptions last week, that led to a victory. 3 interceptions so far in this game, that has them out in front. We often think of the offense driving things. In this case, it's the defense, not just holding teams, but creating big plays for themselves.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Singletary.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. They'll run out of the gun with Singletary. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
It's 4th down.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Wentz. And that's caught by Beasley. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on 4th. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Coming up on 2nd and 7. Singletary again. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. A nice pickup there, 18 yards, first down Falcons.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Here we go, D. All day defense. All day.
Today's final.
So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for Atlanta, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Lions, the loss will drop them to 4-2 on the year. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts. So for our